Good afternoon, Vernon. My name is Karen Davino. I am the Superintendent of Schools here in the Vernon Township School District. Thank you for joining us. I am joined today by two of my colleagues. To my right is Kelly Ressler. She's the Administrative Assistant for Human Resources here in the central office. And many of you, of course, know Mrs. Gebhardt, who is the principal of our Cedar Mountain School. We're here to talk to you today about some really exciting news. And we're going to start this conversation, and then Dr. McKay is going to go through a great presentation that really gives you step-by-step information. We are talking about substitute teachers. Now, for many years in school districts, you had to have 60 credits in order to be a sub. That has recently changed. As many of you know, there is a substitute teacher shortage all across the country. In fact, there are shortages, unfortunately, in other positions also, like nurses, custodians, bus drivers. Today we are here to talk about sub-teachers. The great news is it is now 30 credits in order to sub in the district. So if you have 30 credits in a higher institution and you'd like to sub for us, we're going to talk about that today. If you have a child who is coming home from break, perhaps during the holidays, maybe they've already done a semester or two at a college or university, they could sub with us. It's a great way to be back in the Vernon schools and also to earn some cash, especially for the holidays that are upcoming. So first, Ms. Ressler, talk just a little bit about maybe the importance of the process and what has to happen when people log on to our website.
You can apply online at our website at VTSD.com, and the most important factor I need to stress is to get the paperwork in promptly. And if you have any questions at all, to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to assist in the process, any questions that you may have.
Great, and that's so wonderful because remember, folks, start off on the website to take a look at employment. I know Mr. Shea will make sure that's embedded in this video for all of you. And Ms. Ressler is really a great resource. She's able to help you if you have any questions. And filling out everything in its entirety is it's just like any other application, yes. Right? When you fill out a job application, there are certain things we need to process that, right? And then once we start the process and you're kind of in the queue, so to speak, you're starting to get your things together, Mrs. Gebhardt runs a really wonderful onboarding process for our substitute teachers. So she's going to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Davino. Once you are in Frontline, I will be calling you and or emailing you to come on in. Sometimes I do group trainings, which sometimes really helps the process because you're with lots of people and a lot of really great questions come up. And what I try to do is really make sure that you understand in totality your role as a substitute in our district to really work with preschool all the way up through 12th grade. We receive many people that are in the field of education, which is really exciting. We have some novice teachers that are trying to break into teaching. We have people who have retired from teaching. We have people that are in other fields that are actually coming in to see, well, maybe I'd like to actually go into the field of teaching. So with the onboarding, I give you a variety of information and handouts that will help you and guide you through the process. So we start off with a really important handbook that tells you a little bit about each of our schools, the timing of all of our buildings, what you can expect in the buildings, and this is something that you would kind of digest later on. We don't go through all of this together, but a lot of very comprehensive information. I teach you about how to use the technology in our building so that you feel comfortable when you're handed a laptop or a Chromebook and know how to set it up. We give you a little cheat sheet on that. I teach you how to chart your day, how to take notes, how to explain to the teacher what you've accomplished, maybe some things that you didn't quite finish, areas that the students maybe have struggled or really did quite well with, ways to let that next teacher know that's coming in tomorrow what's going on in the room. We also have given you a calendar because some districts run on different calendars. You'll have a calendar. The most important thing that I do take you through is really a comprehensive training. And I always begin by saying thank you so much because your work that you do in our district is vital. It is very critical to keeping our school district running as well as keeping our curriculum moving along. So we start and end with a really big thank you. I go through all different facets of a day. I talk about scenarios. I go through every single kind of Homeland Security drill that you have, how to use a sub-buddy, and what to expect in a classroom, again, from preschool all the way up through high school. And I talk you through the process as well. I explain how you can use Frontline. And again, we close with a lot of scenarios because a lot of our substitutes say, what happens if this happens? What do I do if this happens? And we're able to work together to make the person that's coming into the district feel comfortable and know what to expect in each building. And then I always refer back to Ms. Ressler to make sure that all the housekeeping is taken care of. And we kind of work as a team to make sure we can onboard that person and get them in our school as soon as possible.
Wow, so this partnership is really, really essential, and thank you so much, Mrs. Gebhardt. So you're reminding our folks at home that if you're interested in subbing, you don't have to have any experience,
Not
right?
at all.
You can be a retired person who was in education, or you can be somebody who's never walked in the door, right?
Absolutely.
Because everything is done for you. Once you get through the logistics and the paperwork, which Ms. Ressler will help you with, Mrs. Gebhardt is going to go through all of those really, really important strategies that she just talked about. Everything from when does the school day start and end? What kind of notes do I leave for the teacher that I'm subbing for? How do I make sure that I am working with children to the best of my ability and to try to promote learning when the teacher is absent? All of those things are covered in the substitute training, right? Those are really, really essential factors for you to be successful if you're interested in being a substitute teacher. So, Mrs. Gebhardt, I can't thank you enough for all of the training that you provide for our subs. Ms. Ressler, for making sure that everything logistically is starting to flow through the Department of Education so that we can get people certified and be here. And I know that Dr. McKay is going to share a step-by-step process for you. Please consider coming to sub here in the Vernon schools. We'd love to have you as part of our school district family.
Okay. All right, folks, so you just heard from Ms. Ressler, Ms. Gebhardt, and Ms. Davino about the process that we're trying to make sure we can expedite and get as many substitutes into Vernon as possible. So we're really interested in having you come join us. So I wanted to go through the process with you just to make sure everyone knew exactly what was expected of them. So here's a direct link to apply to our school district. So as you can see, it's www.vtsd.com/employment. We use AppleTrack for all applications, so you go to that site and you apply. And we require that all applicants take a drug test and have the MAN 2 test when applying. So that's one of the first steps of the process, is to actually fill out the application for a substitute teacher, and then know that you will have to take a drug test and you will have to do the MAN 2 test. So, and those are pretty standard procedures. Then here's step one. You have to do a criminal history background check. It's done by a company called Indento Go, New Jersey, and it's a universal fingerprint form, and it's $11 to do that process. And then when the fingerprinting is done with them, you also have to pay $66 if you've never been fingerprinted, or $29.75 if you have been, in order to send those results to us. So the fingerprinting is a background check to check on any possible issues in your past. The drug test, of course, is to check if there's any concerns about that as well. But once you're through those three things, you have the application, the drug test, and the background piece, you're then ready to apply online with the state. So it's called a TCIS system, Teacher Certified Information System, for the substitute credential. And this costs $125. That's an application fee. So we're working on some incentives for our substitute teachers. And one of the areas that we're looking at is some of these things. But we want you to know right now, this is the process. The process is to pay for fingerprinting. The process is to pay for the drug test. But those can be archived. So once you're done with those, you always have them. And then the subcert goes to the state of New Jersey, and that's $125. Once that is done, we are ready to go. Upon the completion of your application, you'll receive an individual tracking number generated by TCIS. This is a simple process. So once the payment's done and you fill out their application, they give you a number. That number becomes the piece that information that we need as a school district. Step 4, you deliver to the Sussex County Board of Education, which is in the back of VOTEC. So when you're driving on White Lake Road there, and you make a right if you're going towards Sparta, or a left coming from Sparta, you'll see a driveway in the back of VOTEC, and there's a small house there. That's the Sussex County Board of Education office. But if you bring the information, and I'm going to talk about the information that we need, if you bring all the information to Ms. Ressler, who you just met on the video, we will make sure it gets emailed over to them, and we will expedite the process so you'll get this done faster. So if you want to know from me what's easier, I would say the most important thing is to get it to Ms. Ressler, and then she'll get it over to the County Board of Education office. So what do you need? We need the college transcripts, but the big change, and this is what our folks talked about, was it's only 30 credits. So if you are a sophomore in college, you're 20 years old, and you have 30 credits or more, we can hire you as a substitute. Now think about that. Let's say you have classes on Tuesday and Thursday, and you're free on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is an opportunity for you to pick up $375 a week. Not a bad situation. So we need the criminal history status check. In other words, you need to get that done. You have your tracking number from when you applied with the program, and then your college transcripts that prove that you have 30 credits or more. We would then approve you at the next board meeting, whether it's a work session or a public session. We will approve you, and then you can get started the next day. So if we approve you on a Thursday evening, and that's when you have board meetings, that Friday you can get started in our school. And of course, we use a system which all you have to do is check into the system. It's called ASOP through Frontline. You check into the system, it announces what absentees we have, and you click on the one that you want to cover, and then you're responsible for showing up the next day, and then you get paid for that coverage during the pay periods of the 15th and the 30th. Currently, we're paying $125 a day. We're also looking at that number as well. So all of these things are in play. We just wanted to get this out to you because we know, A, school districts need subs. B, we're looking at the whole process as a Board of Ed and as an administration. But C, most importantly, we think with the 30 credits as opposed to 60 credits, we have a unique opportunity to grab our college students and have them come work for us. So take a look at this and come join us. I'm Chuck McKay. I'm the Assistant Superintendent. If you need anything, please email me at cmckay, CMCKAY1 @VTSD.com, or give me a call at 973-764-4359. Thanks.